Assalamu Alaikum guys, how are you? So we are here with a new video. This is about the persecutions faced by the Muslims and the prophets. In this aspect, let me tell you that I have divided this answer into two parts, or these notes into two parts. One regarding the Muslims and other regarding the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So for your introduction, you can write that the Makkans were really frustrated and they wanted to end the spread of Islam as soon as possible because this was going against their belief system and their lifestyle. So they also felt threatened and anxious, especially because of the poor slaves they were converting. And these slaves, as such, did not have any rights. And now they had the guts to convert and stay away from the belief system of these Makkans. The names of major enemies: Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, Jamil, Abu Lahab's wife, Umayyah bin Khalaf, who used to torture Bilal Radiallahu anhu. You can also write Hinda's name, who was Abu Sufyan's wife, or Walid bin Mughira, Banu Makhzum's chief. Their quote, what they used to talk about Holy Prophet, there are two quotes written in Quran. I have stated it here. Why is not Quran sent down to some leading men in either of the two cities? The two cities, the major two cities were at that time Makkah and Taif. Is this the one whom Allah has sent as messenger? So these are the two comments that is stated in Quran, and you can write this as your quote. So persecutions faced by the Muslim in this aspect, we talk about Hazrat Bilal anhu, who was tortured by Umayyah bin Khalaf. He was dragged into the city streets of Makkah. He was made to lie down on a hot sand. A big boulder or a big stone was kept on his chest, and Umayyah bin Khalaf would constantly whip him, demanding him to revert back. However, Bilal Radiallahu only said Ahad. This means the one. It is usually translated as Allah the one. Hazrat Abu Bakr set him free so that he could follow Islam with no restrictions. Hazrat Zindra, a female Roman slave, was tortured by Hazrat Umar, who was not the Muslim at the time, and Abu Jahl, to the extent that she lost her eyesight. It was because of Abu Jahl's jab. Suhaib bin Rumi, who was not a slave, but he was an outsider, so he had no one to protect him or give him tribal protection, was tortured to the extent that he lost control of his speech and would repeat whatever the masters used to tell him. He would praise their gods or goddesses. He would probably sometimes curse Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not knowing what he's doing. And the worst thing is the Makkans still made fun of him when he would say these kind of things. Khabbab bin Arad was a blacksmith, branded by his own tools. He was made to lie down on hot coals. His back skin peeled off, exposing his burnt flesh. Hazrat Yasir and Hazrat Sumayya were the first martyrs of Islam, and Abu Jahl used to torture both of them. So we now talk about the Quraysh. Hazrat Allah, Hazrat Abu Bakr anhu, were tied together with a rope while praying namaz. Abu Bakr anhu came and saw that Holy Prophet was being bullied or tortured by the Makkans. He began to defend Holy Prophet. So the Makkans focused on Abu Bakr instead of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and started to beat him up. So much so that when he went home, he was profusely bleeding. His hair were pulled out. His face was swollen, so much so that people could not actually make his eyes. Where were the eyes? He fainted for 2 days. Hazrat Usman Raziallahu was the first Umayyah from Banu Umayyah to convert to Islam. His own uncle Hakam bin al-As used to torture him. He was wrapped in a mat made out of leaf and fire was lit underneath it. As a result, he had no option to inhale the smoke. Saad bin Abi Waqqas Anhu's mother tortured him. This was emotional blackmail. She went on a hunger strike and sat under the scorching sun, refused to come inside or eat or drink till he reverts. This made him very anxious because he immensely loved his mother. But eventually he went to his mother, told her that he cannot revert back. So she gave up her hunger strike. In this aspect, you're going to write a chunk of a paragraph for the boycott and migration to Abyssinia, because this is also included as the persecutions. So now we come up to the psychological and the verbal persecution faced by the Holy Prophet. We know that he was called soothsayer, sorcerer, magician, madman, and a poet. They used to say that he used to write the poetry and claim that this was the divine revelation. He was called Abtar after the death of his second son, which meant that he has no male heir. This was initiated by Abu Lahab, and the rest of the Makkans followed him. Abu Lahab also cut off matrimonial relationship of his sons with Ruqayya and Kulsum anhu, who were the daughters of Holy Prophet, and Hazrat Khatija. This is one quote regarding Jamil and Abu Lahab. You can write this as your quote. He was made fun when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when there was a gap of revelations, and Jamil started saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgotten Holy Prophet. The rest of the Makkans followed Jamil. Offers were made for the most beautiful girl for marriage, kingship, treasures of Arabia. They said 1 year we will practice Islam, while the next year you practice idol worshipping. Or rather, 1 year we practice Islam and the next year we all practice idol worshipping. In reply to this, Surah Kafirun was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Complaints were made against him to Abu Talib, his uncle, and his tribal protector. So these are the three quotes that you can see here. These are the conversation between Abu Talib and Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and you can write these as a quote. Then we talk about the physical persecutions. Uqba bin Mu'ayth put camel entrails on his back while he was prostrating in front of Kaaba. Hazrat Fatima saw it and picked it up and cleansed from Holy Prophet. Jamil used to throw remains of slaughtered goat on him. She and Hinda and other women of Makkah threw garbage and thorny bushes on the path he would take. Usually they would do it in the night in front of his house. So when he would go out for Fajr namaz, he did not know, or we would go out during the middle of the night or to pray in front of Kaaba, he could not see it. And that injured his feet. A Makkan strangulated him nearly to death while he was performing sajda again. It's the old lady incident. If you want to write, you can write it, but now it has been found out that it is a mawzu, a fabricated hadith. You know, the one that we used to talk that, the old lady used to throw trash on him, and then once she did not, and the Holy Prophet found out that he was not feeling well, and she tended her and impressed converted to Islam. That one. When you talk about the persecution during the Makkan era, then you have to write a bit about the incident of Taif as well, when he visited Taif. We will talk about it at length when this topic is going to come. So I hope this was helpful for you. This is another quote. May Allah give them what they deserve. This Holy Prophet said when he was physically persecuted by the Quraysh. So like this video and subscribe it if you have not subscribed it till now, and wait for the next one to come. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.